Taking up place with children, the most important thing is to get out of the classroom. For place consciousness, we don't have to start big and grand. We can start small, step outside the classroom and see where that takes you. Does that take you to the field of your schoolhouse? Does that take you to the creek that runs through the land of your schoolhouse? Does that take you farther afield?
It's about connecting children to that very local space before we ask them to be concerned about global issues like climate change. They have to care about the dandelions and the cracks of the sidewalk, right? They have to understand that that dandelion is so important for the bees and it's the first food that they'll find when they emerge. And they have to understand that all the seasonal change and what that brings and what that means in this place before they can apply it to a more broader understanding of global change.
We took the manicured space of one of our soccer fields and turned it back into a incredible forest. It is a well-used space, and I would say it's probably the favorite place of all the kids.
I've found that slowing down and really taking time to explore even one small place like this and watching how it changes and letting kids grow in their confidence with it and their relationship with it is so much more valuable than anything I could take from Pinterest or something like that to do indoors. And a lot of Indigenous learnings are woven in within that. We talk about when we pick something in the forest. Do we take everything? Do we take just what we need? How do we express our gratitude after we've picked that thing? A lot of the times I've taught the kids to offer your breath to the plant. I think just reminding myself that everything that I need is here. I have it and the place has it, is if you're willing to slow down and kind of look for it.
The place becomes one of the really important teachers that dissolves that hierarchy of who's in charge here and that gives a child a lot more autonomy and agency over their own learning, which allows me to come alongside a child that I might have had challenging relationships with before in a way that makes it a lot easier to work with them and be with them.
How do we listen to the past? How do we listen to the present and species that are around us, and asking students and learners, do these parts of the land have a voice? If we're thinking about democracy, if we're thinking about ecological democracy, then we may have to sit and listen in order to speak for the land.
We do a lot of unpacking together. Like we unpack our privilege and our bias, and we check ourselves in the sense of where we're going and organize ourselves. And that's the key to collaboration and having someone that you can rely on or work with. It's key, and especially when you're talking about something as deep as place conscious education.
I've had the great pleasure of meeting many people of Sinaiic's descent, and they have supported me on my journey and have blessed me with the privilege and permission to do the work that I do. And there again, we have to work with our WKTEP students, and we do not tell them what to think, but we take them to the land. We look at story from many different peoples that have walked this land so that they can understand that yes, lots of people walked to this land, that there was a certain nation that was here, and the heartbreak of some of the denial that was shown to that nation. But that's what we want our students to look at.
There's definitely a willingness and sometimes even a desire to bring Indigenous perspectives and content and pedagogies into the classroom. But I think sometimes we engage with the resources and not necessarily the people.
It's the relationship piece that I think is the most important thing in that process of recognizing that the land is a teacher and that we can learn from the land. There are so many teachings that come from the land and from the water that it can't just be, I don't know, I think it's sometimes difficult to articulate in English. I think it's just showing up with willingness. I think recognizing the importance of being in right relationship with the land and with the local nations and with each other, right? I think that is a vital piece as well. And being open to the learning process.